Let's go ahead and get started there, guys. Yes, sorry for jumping on a bit late. I was trying to get another computer going in another conference room, and the browser was incompatible with all this stuff. So I was just like, I'll just go back to my normal computer. So, okay. Let's just take a quick attendance. I know Aaron won't be on, and then Michael Kruger said he'd be a little late. So, but it looks like we have plenty of people. So, Rob, all.
Yes, I am present.
Okay, Jason Danielson.
Yep, here.
Phoebe.
Oh, I'm here.
Jeff, so myself, present, obviously. Stephen.
How's it going, everyone?
Hey. Michael Kruger is absent at the moment. Mike Powell.
Here.
Eric Spangenberg. Eric's there. I just heard him. Aaron Vaughn. And Nate Wold is absent as well. We have a training here at the State Library going on, so. Okay. I think we have quorum. Yeah, and then we have, looks like we do have a few guests as well. Jenny made it on, Michelle, obviously, and Brian Shaw. So welcome.
And Jeff, I don't know if you saw Aaron sent an email saying he won't be able to make it.
Yeah, there's a couple different trainings going on because they're the Emilio grant program. They're offering some training on their Amplifund. And then yeah, we have another training going on here too. So lots going on today. So did you guys have a chance to look over the minutes? I know we did the voting a little bit different this time since we didn't have quorum at the for most of the meeting. So.
And what is quorum again? I mean, I know what it is, but I mean, what's the amount, the number?
At the moment it's 6.
Okay.
I think.
6 voting members, right?
Yeah. So we always have to minus Eric out of there because he's not a voting member right now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And I think it would still stay 6 if he were to become if we were to amend the bylaws. But it would essentially just create another member to vote, or essentially a little easier to acquire quorum as well. So okay, I will take a motion to approve if there is no comments on that.
A motion to pass.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Oh, and Brian typed in the chat, happy Geography Awareness Week, and then obviously happy GIS Day tomorrow. So lots going on, geography and GIS related. So. Okay. Did you guys have any other comments about our work plan? I know we've been working on it the last couple months, but if you guys had any comments or questions. Okay. Yeah, it looks to be a pretty good document, and glad everybody was able to make it to the treat. So that was a pretty good time a couple months ago. So, but yeah, I will take a motion to approve this work plan if no one has any public comment, or board members too.
Motion to pass it.
Okay, can we get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, that was second by Steve. All those in favor of the work plan for 2021, 2022, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, I will get that into a PDF form and put up on the website because we usually post those after we approve them. So and then probably every couple months we'll kind of just check in a little bit. We'll especially do it at our quarterly meeting because we'll have a little bit more time in January. So yeah, just look for that in the future.
Are we still up for that? I think you were saying you were having issues with the office or space for that meeting for January.
No, we're gonna have it at the city of Helena, Lewis and Clark County building.
Oh, okay. So you found a spot for it?
Yeah, Jason, which conference room is it in? It's like 312 or 311 or something.
Yeah, one of those.
Okay. Yeah,
we're good, Jeff, with that.
Okay.
We'll confirm with the building staff and stuff. So
Yep. Yeah, I'll send out more details of that later. But yeah, I confirmed with Eric too because I believe everyone's gonna have to park in the parking garage. But we can essentially just the county will just validate those tickets inside, so then you won't have to pay on your way out.
yeah.
We got you covered, man.
That's good that you guys have that. I think I've always just parked in the back, but I would imagine we would get in trouble if all 10 of us parked in the back. So
Yeah, it's 2-hour parking on the street and everything like that. So that's the only thing, as well as the parking lot, except for the employee lot. And so that's why with the meeting, for a long meeting like this, rather than taking a break to go move cars and whatnot, you just can use the ramp. And it's not that far away. So.
Okay. Another new business. I know Michelle was talking about this last week, so I figured we'd talk about it because I think we have until the end of the month. Is reviewing reducing the contract attendance and room commitments that we have. Michelle, do you want to explain to everybody kind of the lowdown on that and what you found out recently?
Yeah, so after our discussion at the strategic planning meeting, and after I was just kind of talking about the experience I've been having with the Holiday Inn and their flexibility not being at maybe as much as it normally would, we were just trying to talk about whether we want to reduce our financial commitments we have with them right now. So I double checked our most current contract with them. That's been changed a few times over the past couple of years because we've had to keep pushing it out. And well, I emailed them after our meeting and said, in the event our numbers are really low, or we need to cancel, like what are our options? And so what they're doing is they've offered to give Magip either a one-time addendum, so we can adjust the contract, or we can cancel with we can do both of those things with no financial liability, but they would need to be done by the end of this month. Having said that, I looked at our most current contract, and right now we have.
Michelle, where do you have that contract at?
I can upload. I don't know if the most current one's uploaded in there. I can do it really quick.
Okay.
I
know we had it pulled up at the retreat, but I can never remember which folder it's in.
Yeah, I think it's in the Big Sky GeoCon. Let's see if it's the most current one. And then 2022 Missoula. It's not in there. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure where it's at either, but I'll add it in here. And I don't know if the most current one's in here since we amended it last time. So I'll dump it in there here as soon as I'm done talking. But right now we have, on Sunday we have 20 rooms. Monday we have 40 rooms. Tuesday and Wednesday we have 60, and Thursday we have 10. So I think when we initially amended it from when we postponed it, we already reduced those numbers. So the question is, do you want to reduce those numbers more? If you reduce those numbers more, then what the Holiday Inn is saying is that then they will have to adjust our meeting room space that we have booked, meaning they might put us in some different meeting rooms. And in the event our event grows, our numbers start to, we have more numbers than we think we're going to. They would have to look to see if they have availability to give us more rooms at the government per diem and give us our meeting space back. So
I have one question about that, because the one thing I'm concerned about is the number of local presence that will be there that will not count towards this number. So yeah, if we get stuck in these smaller rooms, but say 50 or 40% of our attendees live in Missoula, then we're kind of stuck in smaller rooms, even though we should be in larger ones, but we can't fulfill the commitments because obviously people are going to go home if they live in Missoula.
yeah, let me look really quick. So out of that, because typically you have to fill like 80 or 90% of the 60. So let me see what it says.
Did we have any catering commitments? Like, could we?
15,000 is our minimum food and beverage, which isn't that's not,
No.
I mean, that's pretty low. Let's see, I'm looking to see. So 90% of the contracted sleeping room rate has to be actualized. So it'd be 90% of 60 on those high peak nights. So we'd have to really fill 54 on that Tuesday and Wednesday. We'd have to fill 54 rooms with bodies. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22 because if you, like you said, Jeff, if we reduce those numbers, then they're going to reduce our meeting space. But then what if a bunch of people from Missoula come? I mean, it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
Now I haven't sent the survey out. I have that on my calendar to do this week. I was gone all last week. So that might give us a better idea, but I mean, those aren't very high numbers. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm almost in favor of leaving them because, I mean, just like you said, I don't know if we can afford to be in smaller rooms than we already are.
Right.
Yeah. And we still don't know, it's one of those things, but I think if, say we are just slightly under those thresholds, we'll just have to accept the financial obligations, which I think if you're close, the obligations aren't as much as say you're way off, but.
Yeah. And what just recently happened with my other conference is we did not fill the sleeping room block, but we spent more on our minimum food and beverage. So they actually counted that towards the difference. So I
was just going to ask you about that because I mean I feel that catering commitment is plenty.
Yeah.
And I think we could easily fulfill that portion of it.
Yeah. So if you go over that, they will count that towards it. And so I think the last group I did, I think they ended up paying like $1,700 in attrition.
Okay. What do the rest of you think about this? About potentially just leaving the numbers that we currently have, just kind of hoping, because I'm going to imagine we're going to probably have at least 30% of our attendees from Missoula, I would imagine, but they're still obviously going to eat there, so they're still contributing something to those commitments.
Yeah, so Michelle, the survey you were talking about, is that just to gauge interest as to those that are planning to attend, in person?
Yeah, just a simple quick survey, give people just a few days to turn that around so that we can make, I mean, if we basically have 2 people that say they're coming, then we might want to rethink it. But yeah, it's just kind of just to get a pulse on how many people are planning to come.
Yeah, that's good.
And then she could not guarantee that their restaurant and bar would be open. But again, we're downtown, so there's lots of other places to go, in the evenings for socializing.
That sounds like the hotel's loss for that.
Absolutely.
They could make up so much more revenue if they had the bar open.
Yeah, they could. Evidently, they said they can't find people to staff it like everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, personally, I think the numbers I think they're pretty good. I mean, 60 both days just doesn't seem like a lot. And I mean, maybe we'll get some more information with that survey, but you know, I know Eric and I are both going, and so that's 2 rooms right there.
Yeah, and I feel like those numbers are pretty conservative, and I think that is one thing when we amended it last year again. I think that's one thing you guys talked about, and that's why you reduced it then. So I think you were conservative then, and I think they're still. I think those are some good solid numbers. So you should be good.
Okay, does anyone else have any other comments? Okay, seeing none, I don't think there needs to be a decision made out of this, you know, particularly since, you know, we're not having to reduce the numbers at all. So we'll just go ahead and table that and kind of leave it as is. On to ongoing business. So this is kind of a carryover from last month. I don't know if there was any consensus or a real, you know, strong lean about revising the signer and key executive on the Magip account. Michelle, do you want to explain to the group, to those that weren't on the call last month, kind of what would we be looking at and doing?
To add a signer, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the Wells Fargo account, you can have as many people on there as you want for view only access. So the whole board could have view only access to the account if you wanted them to have that. There can only be one key executive, and that's the person that has the ability to add and remove signers. And that key executive right now is your treasurer, whoever the current treasurer is. So I think right now Nate is the key executive, and then is he the only signer on the account right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the thought was that having an additional somebody from the board as a signer, and or me as a signer, just to provide some continuity, or if Nate's not available, or if something happens to Nate, so that you just have that extra person on there. And that can be done remotely, as long as somebody can go into, there's paperwork that has to be filled out, and then Nate has to sign it and get it notarized. But as long as that person can go into a branch in their local town, it should be pretty painless to add a signer. Sometimes it can take like 10 to 14 days, but
it's just changing that key executive is kind of what hung us up, wasn't it?
Yeah, the key executive just takes a little bit more work. It shouldn't have been as much of a hassle as it was, but basically to be the key executive, you have to give up your firstborn child. I mean, they just want so much information, and you have to be able to go into the branch and provide a bunch of information. So it's not that hard, and it shouldn't take that long. So I'm not really sure what the issue was. You do have, for that key executive, you do have to have board meeting minutes designating who the key executive is. And it can say, you know, current treasurer. It doesn't have to have a name. So there's some of those steps to go through, but it's not that hard. It just takes a little bit of time and effort. Adding a signer is much easier.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think probably the obvious thing to do that we could move to make is adding Michelle on there. That would at least give us the ability, you know, in case we do have to go through this transition of, you know, I guess it'd be a 2-year cycle. We still have somebody on the account. So.
yeah, and then you can have your own internal, you know, you can have your own internal controls, like you can add some internal policies as to what each person is, you know, like Nate would have full access to pay bills and do everything. And, you know, maybe you just want to give me access to sign something in the event that nobody else is available, but not do anything else. I mean, you can put some internal processes in there that, or like Michelle just can't be paying a bill or signing something without getting approval from 2 board members, or, you might want to just put some internal controls in there. Just so that there's a process for those signers. And I have some samples of that, like a couple of associations, they, most of them require like one of them, I have to get approval from the treasurer to pay a bill. One of them, I have to actually get 2 approvals from 2 different board members. So however you guys want to do that, but it just gives you a little bit more added.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that actually. Okay. Do we want to vote on this? Because I do like that idea of Michelle. Add in having 2 other board member approvals. In the event that Nate is out, to sign for something, and then we can add kind of the key executives or the vice president, past president, and vice president for viewing privileges too.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Michelle should be on that.
Yeah, because obviously we all saw it at the retreat. We essentially had no control of our own finances because the whole transition was still going on. So.
Yeah, and I think giving you only access to your officers at least is a good idea, because I think that, at any given moment, they could go in and see what's going on with the account. That way, if you have any kind of, not that you guys would, but if there's any kind of fraud or anything like that going on, you've got 3 or 4 different sets of eyes on that account, kind of watching the activity, and it's just a good idea. It's just good business practice.
Yeah. Yeah, and then maybe I'll work with Nate too going forward. We probably should have some sort of best practice, just so when the new board goes on, it's in writing, and we kind of know what to expect each year. Just because there seems to be 2 or 3 or 4 new people each year, every 2 years. So.
Yeah, I'll send you some just sample kind of best practices and internal controls just to give you guys some framework to work from.
Okay, so we can either wait and implement both these at the same time, or we can go ahead and make 2 separate motions. I would feel we probably should just do 2 separate motions. That will give us time to do best practices for, I'll give some, something for Nate to do.
Yeah, I think we should move forward. So do we need?
Yeah. Do you want to make a motion there, Jason?
So we're going to do 2 separate motions?
Well, the one this time, and then when the best practice. Yeah. Okay. When we have the best practice document, we'll circle back around and approve that probably in a couple months.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I moved to add Michelle to the I guess if you call it a co-signer or a key executive.
Just a signer.
Just a signer with the, and it's US, is it US Bank?
Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo. Yeah, sorry.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passed.
Jeff,
I'm sorry, Michelle, I just quick question. So is that whole thing with Nate done now? He's completely the key executive now of the.
He already was key executive. That was the
whole all that transfer from with Wells Fargo. That's all done now, right?
Yeah, I think it's been done for like a month and a half or so that he's.
Okay.
Yeah. I think actually might have been longer than that, because I think it was like a week or 2 after the retreat.
Okay.
Okay. So GIS day, we don't have a whole lot going on. I guess we do have some going on. Michael Kruger he's hosting, well, I think it's the city of Billings really is hosting a meetup there in Billings. Do you know where it's at there, Mike? Where are you guys having your meetup at?
Well, that would be right down the street it's about 2 blocks from the courthouse here. It's at Tiny's Tavern.
Nice.
Yeah. So I didn't realize there was a room back there, but apparently there's a room.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I thought about doing one here in Helena. Just have too much going on, and I don't think we'd have the a great perception of it. So I think
yeah,
you
I don't
guys,
know who's all going to show up on a Wednesday night, but we'll see.
yeah, I mean, I've had good success with them, you know, in years past. But yeah, obviously this year adds a little bit of a wrinkle, but I think you guys will be fine down in Billings. And then we obviously have the web contest going on. I think there was 6 entries, including Eric Spangenberg's and Jason Danielson's. Is your guys' is your hub? No, it's your web application, right? I know there's 2 City of Helena ones. That's why I was confused.
And now the one is from our city utility folks,
Okay.
and that's the infrastructure project. It's pretty cool web app showing all the infrastructure projects that they have. You can look at current year, past year, pending projects, stuff like that, cost breakdowns, timelines, etc. And then the second one I actually submitted on behalf of the city of Helena was it's not a map so much, it's just a story map. It's basically a story map regarding economic development and the resources available to people looking to develop and relocate to the city of Helena business-wise and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So we got some.
obviously that tobacco policy one was kind of interesting. So
yeah, I haven't taken a look at them yet. So yeah, I believe Steve sent something out on the listserv, for everybody to vote. So then you'll have to tomorrow, and then I'm going to send something out tomorrow. We're going to just do a little social media raffle because I have 5 ArcGIS Online, or no, ArcGIS personal use licenses to kind of raffle off. But I'm just going to probably just do a simple either like or share or hashtag. I'll probably create like a hashtag too. So look for that announcement probably tomorrow morning. Should be a fun little social media activity. So
yeah, that's all I have to say. Hashtag LC County GIS, man, right there. Boom.
Okay. Okay, I guess we'll dive into reports. Nate is not here, but I can fill in for him. Let me pull up his email that he sent out earlier. I guess he said banking activity for the month. Got the credit card information updated in both QuickBooks and World Apricot, because they obviously, with the key executive change, they updated our credit card information. And then he says obviously with full scope invoices this month, and then I think the Wild Apricot invoice this month as well. I think he was telling me about. So yeah, Wild Apricot payments due on November 20th, and there was an increase on that. I think is it a 5% increase or something like that? Yeah, 5% increase on the contract. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all Nate had to say. Let's move into scholarships. Rob.
I reached out to the committee earlier and asked if anybody had any thing to share. There really isn't a whole lot to share. I think maybe one of the things we talked about at the retreat was, developing a separate budget just for the scholarships and grants. I'm still open to that and open to some suggestions on how we get there or how we get started, right? So maybe in the near future, one of the things we should talk about is what our plan for scholarship funds should be coming into this year. I would imagine that it would probably be similar to what we have had last year. I think with 2,000 to 3,000 for each of the allocations. So I think we're doing 1,500 for the education grants and 1,500 for the scholarships. So 2 of each.
When are you sending out those announcements that Rob? Is that towards the end of the year?
Yeah, it probably the most effective time to get those out is right at the beginning of the spring semester. Because if we get them out in December, people go home for the holidays and they forget about it.
So that's like a week into January then? Is that when schools usually pick back up around
Yeah.
the 8th or something? Yeah.
Yep, I would say in that first 10 days of January.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
We
you'll fill the K through 9 scholarship this year. I don't believe you guys filled it last year.
No, we did not. And I don't think we filled it the year before either. Yeah. So we might, maybe we could encourage the school that applied for it last year and we asked them to make some revisions to their proposal. They never did make the revisions.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll hit them early and encourage them to simply make the revisions and resubmit.
Yeah. Yes, you probably already have a contact list for all that when you send it out, right?
We do. I mean, it helps if you have specific people in mind to send it to.
Yeah.
And I was just in Great Falls last week and staying with a friend whose wife and daughter are both teachers. And I was like, hey. And they're like, yeah, no. There's no time.
Do we even have a contact within like the state of Montana's? I think it's like the public
Office
Yeah,
of
the
Public Instruction.
Office of Public
Yeah.
Instruction.
I know we've talked about this in the past, but
Yeah. I almost wonder if they are too removed.
yeah,
We've
that's
tried
probably true.
We've tried to communicate with them in the past on something Esri was trying to push, and I brought it to them, and they just kind of dropped the ball. It never went anywhere. So I'm happy to keep pushing that, and but I think maybe we need to get a little bit more creative about how to advertise, or even the criteria for using the grant would be for the education.
I wonder if you could put out something through the MEA,
MEA,
Montana Education Association.
Happy to.
That was the conference that they had, was it last weekend or 2 weeks ago? It's a teachers association.
Yeah, no, that would be, that seems
And
very
I would
appropriate.
think that they would have some kind of list of, and would probably be a better contact, closer contact than the state at this point.
Right. Yeah, well, I think I'm happy to work with that. I'll make a note of it right now. What I'm noticing is there is a lot of grant money out there currently in all manner of topics. So I think people are a little bit flooded, but we could think about this too, as a way. So every year where something doesn't get allocated, could we just start stacking that into the endowment, so to speak, right? So every year we make $6,000 of our annual budget available for grants and scholarships. If those grants are not given currently, that money just goes to whatever other projects we have. We could say, well, it wasn't allocated, so we'll put it in the bank.
Yeah, or you could allocate it towards the higher scholarships too.
We could, and we've done some horse trading like that in the past, and it just depends on our collective motivation of what we're trying to accomplish. Do we want to give as much money away as possible, or how do we want to manage that?
Yeah. So I guess maybe just come up with a little proposal for us to consider for next month there, Rob. And we can certainly vote on it. I mean, I know I would lean towards, reallocating that money to elsewhere. Otherwise, it's kind of just a hole in the budget and it doesn't get spent. So
Well, and I think your nonprofit status might possibly be a consideration in that as well.
Well, I mean, not if it's earmarked for an eventual allocation, I would guess, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, let's not beat it too hard. Definitely something to consider. Thank you, Jenny, for suggesting the Educators Association. I think that would be a good place to do some research.
I think most teachers are a member of that.
Yeah,
So if you have friends that are teachers, they may be able to point you in a direction of getting a list.
Sorry to interrupt, and I had to get away for just a second, but and I know I've asked this before, but are those scholarships, is it geared for high school students, or who are you targeting?
it's called a higher education scholarship. So it's available to undergrads and graduate students. Probably 75% of the time it's going, or maybe closer to 85% of the time it goes to graduate students.
Okay, so you're targeting universities and colleges, not high schools.
Correct.
Okay.
However, the teacher and high school component of that is related to the education grant. So we have scholarships for students, and then we have grants for educators to develop materials that they can use in their process.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's the problem. That's kind of the problem lately. And I don't know if something changed from when we designed this in the first place, but from what I gather in talking with teachers, they're really strapped for time and content. The content they have to deliver is already established. So, delivering additional content is difficult. So it usually has to go through the form of a club or some kind of extracurricular activity.
yeah, and that's where we've seen most of the K through 9 grants being awarded towards is usually some sort of geography or GIS club that happens outside of school.
Right. So, maybe I'm just thinking out loud here, but GIS Day, there's a focus on that. Maybe we could use some of the stuff that gets pulled together this year and show people the light, so to speak, and say, here's some funding to host a GIS Day activity. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Esri GIS Day, world map, and clicking on a few of those buttons or locations, and it looked like there are quite a few educational institutions that are hosting these things.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on there, Rob, so we can finish up
Yep.
with the rest of our reports. So thank you for providing that.
MEA, I'll look into it.
Okay. Member development, Steve.
Hey guys, couple of things. Just we already talked about the GIS Day voting going on. That's ongoing. That'll end tomorrow afternoon. And then had a real productive meeting going over the outline for the 2021 salary survey results. Me, Jeff, Michael, and Aaron all got together, kind of went over what the results are, and we've all self-assigned different sections of the salary survey report, and we're all drafting those up and hoping to be able to present kind of a draft document to the board at our next meeting. And it should be pretty interesting, and then we're going to dig kind of deep into some of the more interesting results and do some comparisons to the 2018 survey to kind of start picking up some trends. And then also Tommy Luckshaw is getting the local government special interest group going again. He was kind enough from last meeting to take on that role, and we got a meeting coming up there, so all the local government folks get that on your calendar. And that's about all.
Yeah, that's third, and I do got to bug.
Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday. Yeah, I got to bug Tommy to send out the Zoom informations because I don't think he's done that yet. So, so yeah, that should be a very productive meeting. So, thanks there, Steve. Phoebe with conference.
Yeah, hi everyone. Our last meeting was last week. We decided on a theme. That theme is better together. We are also going to be reaching out to keynotes. That is the Robert Rivers, I believe, and Fernanda at Imagination and Eric at Onyx. I think we're going to reach out to both of those folks, see who's available, and try to work them both into the schedule. Be working on the prospectus. Yeah, did someone have something to add there? No, gotcha.
I'll wait till you're
Mich-
done and I'll jump in.
Sure. Yeah. Michelle, did you have anything else to add?
No, just that I was going to send that little survey out to gauge who would be able to come, and then just in reviewing our timeline, promotional timeline, sending another save the date out with some additional information on it. Hopefully by the end of this week, if not early next week, and then getting the sponsor vendor prospectus out either by the end of this week or early next week as well.
Yes. I'll send you a draft of that new save the date, Michelle, this week.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing you might want to mention there, Phoebe, is the keynote moving to Tuesday.
Yes. Well, yeah. So it's still on that first day of the like get together. Yeah.
Yeah, so we typically do the keynote on Wednesday, and we've talked about moving it to Tuesday afternoon along with the general meeting, AKA Montana Summit. Just a little change in the conference or the format than we normally have.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying, Jeff and Michelle. That's correct.
Yeah. And then, I mean, obviously, if you guys were able to secure a second speaker, the second one would become a luncheon speaker or a plenary, probably Wednesday at lunch or something.
Yeah, I think I'll just add quick. I think the consensus was that we just wanted to kind of change things up this year a little bit, or next year a little bit, and we had a couple good options for potential keynotes, and we just figured to entice folks to come a little early, let's change it up and have folks try to come on Tuesday and get folks involved with that Montana Summit, and then have some sort of a gathering that night on Tuesday night, and then Wednesday, if we can, have another kind of a keynote over the lunch hour. I just wanted to add to Phoebe that I did talk with Fernanda, and she's totally in and super supportive already of this conference. So however they can assist, they will. And so it's super exciting. I think she'll, she wants to host us at the brewery one of those evenings, and then she's totally up for some sort of a keynote or a lunch talk as well.
Awesome.
So,
Thanks,
and she was
Jason.
really, really excited about the theme, better together. So, yeah, so it's cool.
And Jeff, the only other thing I would add is Michael Kruger had sent an email with a link to the GIS Lounge, which is where you can get your events and conferences just on like a calendar list. So I did submit, it was just a click here and submit a form to get it listed on their calendar. So I did do that this morning. I don't know how long it takes to get on there, but just one other place to promote the conference.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever done that before. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Phoebe and Michelle. I don't think Megan is on for web. Let's go with Eric for Emliak.
Okay.
Oh, I guess Jason. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
skipping Jason there.
Jason, go ahead. Let's
Yeah,
bump,
no
let's bump
worries.
Eric's
Yeah.
report.
No worries. Yeah, the committee's working hard at, securing some workshops. We've got a really good list so far. We've got a couple folks that are semi-committed, just need to check on a couple items before they can officially commit. Thanks again, Jeff, for sending out that survey. We had some good results and stuff to help decide what we want to try to pursue. I think the big Eric Pimpler from Geospatial Solutions is planning to attend, and he has a couple pretty awesome workshops that I think will be really exciting for folks. And we've been kind of bouncing around ideas as well. So he's been really, that collaboration has been fantastic, and it's been great to work with. We will likely see a couple that we've experienced in the past, including the SQL queries with Christian Hinterman. He is almost committed 100%, just needed to check on one thing. So we've got a great list so far. We have a meeting tomorrow afternoon at 2 to follow up with some of our duties and reaching out to a couple folks as well. So we'll be able to, kind of confirm some additional workshop options after tomorrow. But so far so good. It's a good list, and yeah, I'm excited so far.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, and I'll probably give you a call after this too. I think I tried connecting with you yesterday. So
yep.
Now let's go with Eric with the Emliak report. I think you're on mute. I think you're on mute there, Eric.
I was muted, and I also had it minimized.
Oh.
So I kept clicking on it, going, where the hell is the screen? And then I saw it tucked away in a corner up there. So yeah, Emliak. Well, of course, as Aaron's gone to an Emliak training, so you know that they're working on getting the grants going. We actually have a meeting this week. Emliak meeting is this Thursday at 10 a.m. So if you're interested in attending that is a public meeting. 10 a.m. You go to their website for the agenda. Actually, here, hold on. Since I have the email open there. And really the only thing on it is some summaries and also the land information plan. Well, there you go. Yeah. So kind of quiet so far. So
I always forget how you guys get to your agenda, and it's somewhere else. Those are just the resources, aren't they?
Scrolling down. Maybe go back a page.
Oh, here it is, right here. Oh.
Nope. Actually, when you're there, hold on.
Yeah, I think it's back one page.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
a lot of new members on there. A lot of new members on that from our one meeting we had a while back where it was the new member initiation. So it'll be, like I said, it'll be good to have another meeting here right now this coming week. So I'm gonna be doing dual meetings that morning. I'm gonna have a Teams meeting for the IT office and then the Emliak meeting on Zoom. So we'll see which monitor wins off.
Yeah, that should be interesting for sure. I'm just trying to get the agenda stuff right. Huh, I will have to tell Aaron about that. I don't think they have the agenda attached, but I know I've seen it in the email, so that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, and
I was
I'll
looking at my email, and she doesn't have it in the email either. So, but that was the post that went to M. That's the email that went to the Magip groups, and yeah, I don't have an email directly from her either regarding that.
okay. Not that big a deal. Yeah. Is there anything else there, Eric?
No, that's all good.
Yeah, they'll be interesting with the turnover and the council members, and kind of reestablishing our collaboration with them. So, and then I am still working on getting a meeting scheduled between Aaron. Obviously, I think they're including you, Eric, and then
Yeah.
Jenny at the state library.
Yep.
So, and then I'll include Mike Powell and Michael Kruger too. So hopefully we'll get some things kind of working out and collaborate a little bit more. So, Michelle with administration.
Michelle stepped away. She had to go. She put something in the chat.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she just said that there's been 12 renewals since last meeting, and she had to go to another meeting. That was her report.
Okay. No big deal there, Michelle. So yeah, I guess there's the calendar events. Next board meeting is December 21st, and then we'll have our in-person one quarterly meeting in January. So yeah, I guess that pretty much adjourns it. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Sorry, I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned, everyone.
Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. We'll be in contact. So stay in touch.
Yep.
Happy GIS Day too.